Hey, you tower runners, welcome to our show today. I'm your host, Scott Stanley, and today's show is going to be geared towards those folks that have never done a race before. And it's a fascinating subject on why we don't do things. Today we're going to be talking about it with our health and well-being, but it's something that kind of affects all of us in different ways. So for those folks that are here that haven't done a race, we're so glad you're here. Now maybe you have some co-workers at work and they have a team and they just did a race, or they're getting ready to do a race. They kind of like you to do it too. Or maybe you have one of those friends that does a whole lot of these races and they can't stop talking about it, and you just kind of do that pushback. It's like, yeah, it sounds like they had a lot of fun, but it looks hard, and my knees and whatever else I can think of. Got to take the cat to the vet. Sorry, can't do that race. But, if you're here, then you're thinking about it. And I bet this has come to your mind before. You probably thought, I really ought to get more healthy. I'm kind of putting on some weight, not sleeping good at night. Doc says blood pressure's starting to get up there. Probably ought to do something. And if you're a guy, it's like a dog that sees a squirrel. Squirrel! And that thought is gone as fast as that dog chasing that squirrel. So hang with us. We've got a really interesting topic and a solution that may be simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And it only takes 5 seconds. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now we're going to get right into this topic, and we're just going to kind of drill down into just a certain part of this subject here, kind of a narrow slice of why we don't do things. So let's start out. You remember when you're a kid and maybe one of your friends with a stick and he'd draw this line in the sand or the dirt and he'd say, I dare you to cross that line and go do that. And you'd like, sure, no problem, no fears, no inhibitions, you just crossed the line, you went and did it. Now think back when you're a young adult and you're think back to your, say, 3 biggest accomplishments in your life. And weren't they hard? Weren't they challenging? Like getting through college or getting through school and having to work at night, or maybe you working your way up a position in a company and you had to start at the bottom, or changing jobs, and these things that we look back at, it's like, wow, man, that was such a pivotal moment in my life. They were hard, weren't they? They were challenging. But something happens when we get older. And I'll give you an example. And I know we've all had this. I have had this many times. Where all of a sudden you're doing something one day and you're like, whoa, I got this idea. This is fantastic. This is awesome. This will change the world. I could start a business doing this. I could change careers. We could do this for the kids. This will make Facebook look like nothing. I can't believe nobody's thought about this. And you tell your spouse, and they get on board, and you tell all your friends and your coworkers, and you're like, yeah, that sounds really cool, man. Go for it. And you're so excited. It's like, wow, this is so cool. And then all of a sudden, and it starts really small. This little thing starts creeping in the back of your mind. It's called doubt. And doubt is just different kinds of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that you might succeed. And then all of a sudden, this doubt starts growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and all these great ideas you had, you're starting to get overwhelmed. It's like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't have the money. You got the kids in school. I don't know. And what did you do? You did nothing. You just didn't even make a decision. You're just like, yeah, you just kind of freeze like a deer in the headlights, And then like your friends at work, and it's like, hey man, how's that project going? How you doing on that, man? It sounds so cool. And now you're like, excuses. The kids are starting grammar school. Work. They got to work all these extra hours, and Shelly, she's working on her career, and you pull these excuses out of nowhere, and they're like, oh man, that's too bad. That's such an awesome idea. That's a shame. And what does that do? It starts to erode that confidence, because instead of stepping over that line in the sand and making a contract with yourself, saying, hey, I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. And no matter what, we're going to do this. No, you took a step back behind the sand. And now something else, some other challenge comes along. And you're like, you get like freeze again. You're like, I don't know, there's so much going on. Life's busy. I don't know if I can change it. Maybe it's a job change. Like, I can't do that now. You got the kids in school. And you take another step back. And something else comes along. And you take another step back. And you just keep going farther and farther back. The thing is that when you don't make a decision, it feels innocent, doesn't it? Because I just didn't make a decision. But what it does is it starts eroding your confidence and your self-esteem, because you feel like, I can't make a choice. I don't know. Should I step over the line, make a contract? No, and now it's getting farther and farther away. So you have to really reach for it. And sometimes people do. But boy, it's like, why get so far back? And then you're like, oh man, I feel crummy. And then we need some relief, from the stress, because we're not working out. That's hard. I can't work out. I've got too many things going on. So what do we turn to? We turn to food. And the sad thing is some of the tastiest food is junk food, and we shouldn't be eating tons of it. Remember when you were young, you might have we have pizza on Sunday watching the one game. Just having a little pizza and beer. And all of a sudden now you're having pizza on Thursday, and then you're having pizza on Tuesday, and then you're having a burger, and then you're having the other stuff, and hey, we'll just go out and get some tacos, and I don't have time to cook dinner. And all of a sudden you're eating a lot of junk. You're like, you look down, you're like, oh man. One day you wake up and you're like, man, I'm 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds overweight. The doctor says my blood pressure's up. Says I'm pre-diabetic. Oh, God. The problem is you're so far back from the line in the sand, you don't really know what to do. This is a tough situation to be in. And in different parts of our life, I'm sure we've all kind of experienced that. But when it comes to your health, it's not just about you. Now, I'm going to use an example. And you can fit this example in your lifestyle. I'm just going to use a married couple, man and woman, but you could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a partner, or a single person. But just for this instance, I'm just going to use a married couple they're going to be married their entire life. So guys, get this. The statistics are that your wife will outlive you by 7 years. Now, do you really, this is the love of your life, do you really want this woman to possibly be alone the last 7 years of her life, maybe even longer? Of course not. This is a person you'd do anything for. Of course not. And here's the big thing now, ladies, women are extremely capable. In fact, I know a lot of women that are a lot more capable than the guys they're married to. So just listen, hear me out here. So, guys, this is one of the things that women really need from a guy. Now, say you go to bed at night, one of those cold winter nights, and you snuggle up together and y'all are embraced and holding on and, trying to get warm under the covers. What a woman really wants from a guy, kind of deep down, is that safety and security. They want to feel safe. Now, do you want your wife to go 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, maybe 15 years and not have that? No. So see, it's not just about you. It's about somebody else. Now, ladies, you don't get a free ride on this either, because if the guys start taking care of themselves and watching what they're eating, they're kind of they're exercising and finding new activities, and now they're like, okay, up here we're going to be together. Now, you got to take care of yourself too, because it's not just about living long. It's about living long and being healthy. If you're bedridden the last 5 years of your life, that's no fun. So ladies, you have to get out there too. You also have to do things. And ladies, you don't want to leave before your husband because guess what? Here's what he sees in you. You know what the thing he wants more from you than anything else? No. Don't, again, not the dirty mind stuff. No. I know what you're thinking. No, he wants your appreciation. Let me give you an example. Say your husband has to go speak in front of 500 people, and you're one of 500 people. And it doesn't matter what the other 499 people said. All he cares about is what you say to him when he comes up afterwards. And if you come and say, honey, that was great. You were awesome. You rocked it. You were awesome. You looked so handsome up there. You spoke so well and eloquent. Wow, way to go. He wants you to be his biggest cheerleader. So you have an obligation to take care of yourself too, so y'all can take care of each other. Now, single people, you don't get a free ride on this either, because hey, maybe you have aging parents that depend on you. Maybe you're a single mom or dad and you have kids to take care of. Maybe you own a business and people depend on you for their livelihood. Maybe you work for a company and you're a key player in that. Maybe when you go home, you've got a pup or kitty at home that's waiting for you to open that door and that tail's a wagging. So you got to take care of yourself too. But in the end, though, it is all about us too. But we have to see the whole picture. You know, you got to take care of yourself. Why not enjoy life? Make a contract. Step over the sand, in the line in the sand. And take some new challenges, like a tower running race. So here's where we get down into the meat of this. How do you change from being back here from the line in the sand till you get up, cross the line, and actually do something? First, you have to just tell yourself, it's like, you know what? I'm going to do something. And if you haven't been working out, if your health and you have some problems, go see your doctor first before you do any kind of exercise. Your doctor, your healthcare provider. Tell them what you want to do and get their advice. See what they say you think you can do. If you've been really sedentary for a while, you're going to have to work your way up, which it may be just walking 3 times a week. And that's great exercise. You know, the great thing about walking is, first, it's free. And if you walk for an hour or a couple miles 3 times a week, you'll burn 300 calories an hour. It's easy on your joints. It'll lower your blood pressure, and it'll get you motivated to do other exercises. Just remember, when you go out walking, put your phone in your pocket, take it with you, but don't stare at your dopamine drip machine for the whole time. Enjoy the fresh air. See, you may see things that you've never saw before. They've been there for years and you never saw it. Enjoy the birds chirping. And then you can get into other things. Right now, I think Beachbody, who they do the P90X and Insanity and Brazilian butt lift, and they're now streaming online. Now, I have no affiliation with those guys. But I saw they stream online, and I think they have 30 days free. And then I think it's like $3 a week or $38 a quarter. And you have access to like 25 different workout programs of all their workout programs. So that's a great way to get started on something. Or join a gym. Get involved with something. Now here's where the 5 seconds. This is the make or break thing. So you've made your contract, you've talked to your doctor, you found out what you can go do. Set your alarm clock for an hour early in the morning, because right now you're probably telling me, I don't have enough time in the day. Well, set your alarm clock for an hour early and plan on doing whatever activity you're going to do when you get up. So let's just say 5 o'clock. Now, when that alarm clock goes off, you have 5 seconds, and this is the make or break point. Instead of, you don't hit the snooze button, don't just turn it off and go, feel like working out. Guess what? I never feel like working out at 5 in the morning either, but I get up and do it. And after I work out, I feel great all day. It's like no coffee can do what a workout will do in the morning. So you get those 5 seconds, and let's start ticking away. The thing you have to do is get up and get out of bed. And chances are almost 100% you will go and do the activity you set out to do. But if you lay in bed, you're going to do nothing, and then you're going to then you're going to beat yourself up, and then all of a sudden you've crossed back in that line of the sand and you start sinking back. You start sinking in quicksand now. Just get up and do it. 5 seconds. Once you make that decision, you're good to go. Now let me give you some examples of some tower runners that have changed their lives. They may be going through challenges now, have gone through challenges, just so you can see what ordinary people like you and me have done. They crossed that line, they made a contract, and they did it. Now right now, there's a gal named Sally Coxmaw. She is dealing with a blood cancer. But she's not letting that stop her life. She is living her life to the fullest, and because she's taken really good care of herself, even though she's going through chemotherapy, she's living her life normally, like nothing's going to stop her. She's going to just beat this thing. Another climber, Madeline Rock, she went through breast cancer, and she stayed active. She had great support from her husband and family. She not only beat breast cancer, she kicked it on its butt. It was like one of those UFC fights where they do that tap out thing. Breast cancer tapped out, so I'm out of here, gone. She beat it. Then we have Jane Trevanovsky. Jane was signed up by a race by her brother Mark, and she ended up getting into tower running, and she lost 80 pounds. She didn't change anything else in her life, lost 80 pounds. In fact, she's written a great book called See Jane Climb, and in the back, she also has interviews with about 38 other climbers with their stories. It's a great, inspiring book. I'll put the link on Amazon, but in the show notes on YouTube. If you go ahead and order it, if you need something to inspire you, get that. David Garcia, he was working on a daytime talk show. He was 400 pounds. One of the talk show guests was Richard Simmons, and Richard Simmons came up to him and said, "Hey, I can help you if you'd like me to." Took him a couple weeks, and he finally took him up on the offer. David's lost about 150 pounds, and he's kept it off for years. He's tower running, and he's going around the country. And he's got a great blog site called Keep It Up David, and I'll put a link to that down below in the show notes. It's really inspiring. He's got some great stories in there. He does blogs about his races. He's got recipes, all sorts of cool stuff, so check it out. Dr. Charles Bauer. Dr. Charles Bauer, as of this recording, has done 27 races this year. He says he's in line to do 35 races this year. Now that means he has to do a race on a Saturday some weekends, fly somewhere else, and do a race on a Sunday. Now I know what you're thinking. It's like, well, he's a doctor. He's got all these resources to do that. Well, yeah, but until this year, the guy who was doing more races than anybody in the country, anybody in the world, was George Burnham Sr. Now, George does it on the cheap side. He stays in hostels, and he'll do races on a Saturday, fly somewhere on a Sunday. He usually does between about 20 and 23 races a year. And get this. He's 72 years old, and he's done over 160 plus races since he had open heart surgery. So you see how tower running can change your life. It gets you focused on being healthy. Now, if you're on Facebook, type in Stair Climbing Sport or Stair Climbers International and ask to join those groups. I'm on them. You'll see some of the same people on both sides, at both of those group sites. And just kind of look in there and then start asking questions. Say, hey, look, this is my situation. This is kind of the area I live in. What can I do? And I'm telling you, people will flood you with great information on things you can do. They'll be supportive. That's the kind of community we have. I mean, when we go to a race, we really, really look forward to seeing all our stair climbing brothers and sisters. So you have a choice. You can make a contract. Step over that line in the sand. Start getting active. Talk to your doctor. Sign up for a race. Get focused. You can do it. You know, maybe you're one of those people where you haven't had a lot of support, and some people have brought you down. But you know what? In this vast universe of all these stars and planets and everything, as far as we can see, if you're here now, you're special and you're an amazing person. So don't let anybody tell you you're not. You are. So, 5 seconds. When that alarm clock goes off, when you make that decision, whatever activity you're going to do, that alarm starts going off, just think to yourself, All systems are nominal. All lights are green. Engines look good. Let's start the countdown. There's no abort. There's no abort. There's no abort. Let's go.